Hi everyone, it's Jerry. Let's have a look at Mikhail Tal's first recorded game. This was played in 1949 in a simul against a master opponent. Ratmir Kholmov has the white pieces in this one against a 12-year-old Mikhail Tal. Let's have a look at it and see what I found, at least, to not be surprising about this game. Starts off as a Queen's Gambit decline, now turned Semi-Slav with c6. After bishop g5, white is one move out with, let's say, e3 from being in a spot to recapture on c4 conveniently, should black make that capture. Well, black does capture on c4, but while this guy is still on home base. e4, and now b5, hanging on to the pawn. Now, it is important black plays in this way. If your mentality right now as black is, I'm not materialistic, I don't mind if this pawn is simply one back, it's the opening, I'm supposed to develop, and you know what? I don't like being in a pin, so let me break it. That's not good enough, because you would essentially be giving white everything they could really hope for out of the opening. White could do what? Recapture, develop. These knights are on their favorite squares, ideal pawn center, and overall fantastic development. Black must put up a much better fight, and does. b5. I'm up a pawn. You gotta work harder to try and get it back. e5 now hits, trying to take advantage of the pinned knight. How do we get out of it? We must question the pinning piece. In this game, bishop takes knight is played. That's not the main line. Nowadays, bishop backing off to h4 is, keeping the pin. That would force black to break the pin with g5. And then there's the sacrifice on g5. In the end, this knight is won back. The minor piece is won back with the pawn. This guy, white's dark square bishop, lives in the main line. Not in this game. It's exchanged for black's knight. Pawn takes, and on this move 9, bishop b4 is played, pinning the knight. One of the reasons I thought bishop b4 is played to pin the knight is, well, if we take here, is this going to be annoying? Not really. Knight e4 would be a terrible move, in fact, because bishop b4 check is in there, and one of these guys has to run in reverse. If you're blocking with this, that would hang d4. Black is doing really well here. So this is considered a best move. What is a way black benefits by immediately recapturing this pawn? Well, this guy remains uncommitted for at least one more move. Will it be door A or B? It goes through. There are lines where it is deployed on the main diagonal. Okay, it's committed straight away in this game to b4. And the reply is bishop to e2. Sensible enough. Nothing really wrong with bishop to e2. It is the only door that's open for the bishop, so normally you have one door open for the bishop, you just go through it. The recommendation is to actually invest another tempo in order to put the bishop on the main diagonal. Now, in what way can white justify this additional tempo? Well, it is the longest diagonal from g2. It would patrol the longest diagonal on the board. That's one. Two, it would observe a hole in black's camp that has been created ever since move 6. c6 is the hole. When b5 was played, c6 became a hole. And one final note, any major piece pressure that black may look to one day exert along this half-open g-file is biting on a rock. This construction is really strong for white. Okay, in this game, I only have one door open. Let me just go through it. Queen takes pawn only now. White castles. This knight is unpinned. Black doesn't want to deal with any knight jumps at this stage. So chops the knight and continues to develop. He's not flipping a coin on this next one with knight d7 or bishop to b7. Knight d7 first with an eye on this possibility. This is this knight's next jump. This is a way for white to improve the pieces, to vacate f3 as well for a bishop, to get on the main diagonal. If you play bishop b7, this could be pretty irritating. How are you dealing with this knight? Surprisingly enough, the computer is saying still go here and be okay having your king in the center. Okay, that's... I don't like the looks of having the king in the center like this, so important to watch out for the knight jump straight away on this move 12. Knight d7 does just that. a4, natural enough. Rook pawns like to attack knight pawns. Bishop b7 only now. And next up we have knight e5, so white still jumps in there even though black has two attackers on it. White is giving up another pawn and looking to open the position. This king, where's it going to go? Where is its safe haven? The knight goes into e5. Considered better is to not be so quick to give a pawn up, another pawn up, but instead retreat the knight, not with the intention to go to e4, but mainly to get this guy in the main diagonal. Okay. White's idea, dive in the center, give up another pawn. The position is opening up a bit more. And how to follow up now as black? Well, we have an open D file. With that last sequence, white is giving up the D pawn. And black could now coordinate, you might say, much easier with his furthest advanced pawn. Look at the squares it's controlling. So this right here, d3, that is a big pivot square. Rook d8, queen c2, and black in this position fully activates the rook. So right now it's not a full rook when it's on d8. It's really only functioning in a T direction. But once it's planted right here, it's a plus, and it is fully activated, deep in white's house. Okay, from here, a takes b5, and now, in typical Tal fashion, we have rook takes bishop. Are we surprised by this? The young Tal making a sacrifice on f3, his first recorded game. Of course, it's going to be a sacrifice. The king side is officially smashed. White does not recapture straight away on f3. In this game, rook takes a7 is on board. How might play follow if white captures the rook? Well, black could give a check. King has to go to the corner. And then you take on b5. And what is white doing about f3? It could only be defended with the queen. Queen d1, for instance, but black is in a spot to put a second attacker on it, and this will soon be leading to mate. So, first it's rook takes a7, queen takes b5, defending the bishop. Now the rook is captured, but now it's going to be mate soon enough. With queen g5 check, king h1, rook g8, and white resigns. There's no defense to this queen coming into g2 for mate. Trying to go for that arrangement a little bit earlier, meaning while this rook was still on a1, white would have the defensive move rook g1, but there's only one defender here. Rook g1, we could just capture the rook for mate. There is, in this position, no defense against the mate threat. So a very smooth game, a tactical finish by the player who would soon become known as the magician from Riga. Anyhow, feel free, as usual, to leave any feedback to this video in the comments section below. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe took a thing or two away. That's all for now. Take care. Bye.